Grand evening, chosen divine beings, or grand rising, wherever you find yourself in the world today. I was thinking about people with their can't get right Peter Pan energy while they wear their Peter Pan pants. And how they want to stay in never grow up land. Never want to heal land. And how they want to stay out there with the lost boys. And even while Peter Pan had a beautiful fairy to guide him and comfort him along the way in Never Ever Land, he always wanted to keep Tinkerbell in that daggone cage. And she just wanted to be free, sprinkling her fairy dust and trying to see how she could help find the lost ones grow up. And it just states that God will send angels on assignment to people, but only for a time, to help them, and not only them, but to heal and restore their whole bloodline. But they'd rather be out there with the lost boys and girls. And because the Most High had us cloaked as if we were undercover agents wearing regular street clothes, they just seen us as being ordinary, regular. Some even called us weird. And that's okay. Because after the time was up and the Most High said, you did what you were supposed to do, and there's nothing left that you can do, and it's time for you to move on, because they wanted to push us to the side. So God said, well, it's time to pack your belongings. It's time to move on out. And so that's exactly what we did. It's Libra season. Justice and liberty for all, right? I'm so glad that we are all on the same timeline while we're all on different timelines. And while I'm speaking about timelines, because when we dream, whether you know it or not, you're on a different timeline. And what you're dreaming is actually happening. It's just happening on a different timeline. And so if you're out there and you're having a lot of weird dreams or you're having nightmares, that is because most likely spell work has been put on you. And it is to alter your timeline. I remember having a lot of dreams when I was a little girl, up until current. More specifically, the ones as a little girl. I remember having dreams about my dog being unalived. I remember having dreams of my adoptive father being unalived. And he came to me and let me know that I let him know that I told him exactly how he was going to be unalived, but it was through a dream. So when you're young, and older people too alike, I didn't used to know that I was in the 3D matrix. So when I told him that, he probably just pushed it to the side, and I did too, because I was a little girl. I also remember having dreams about riding in a car with my sister, my adopted sister, and the police pulled up behind us, and she rolled down the window, and he said, I need your ID and your registration and your insurance. And when she opened her wallet, it was my ID. And she gave my ID to the police officer. And then it's like I astral projected, and I went above the car, and I was watching the situation for a little bit. And then when I got back into the car, my adopted sister was a whole different female, which would make sense to what's going on in the current. Okay. Also, like I've stated before, Joseph and the many coat of colors. I definitely had that dream. I remember being up those stairs. It looked like being on the inside of a pyramid and walking up the chamber stairs. And when I got up there, there was this huge long table, and it was beautifully decorated, lots and lots of chairs. And I sat at the head, and all of a sudden, one by one, my Illy members started walking through the door. My ex-Illy friends started walking through the door. And they all sat down. They didn't recognize me, but they needed something. And that would pertain to right now. I also remember telling a certain somebody about a dream that I had, more of a prophecy. It was him with three other male figures in a car, and they were beating him up. hmm And that's probably going to respond to here in the near future. Somebody knows about that dream. Hmm? Anyways, pay attention to your dreams. If you can, write them down because you never know when you're going to come back to that dream and read it, and you're going to be like, wow, this is exactly what's going on right now. Everything has synchronicity. So pay attention to that. And also know that even Yahuwah, he stated himself that they hated me before they hated you. And a lot of us chosen divine beings, we've been through hell to grab the keys to the gates that were being gate kept by the ones who took our talents and our dreams and our goals and our aspirations. And that's okay because everything is divinely orchestrated, like I keep saying. All of that energy that they threw out there, all the people that they gathered up because they knew the power inside of us from the Most High was so magnificent that it would take a whole army just to come after one little less. And because they conjured up all those powers, all those entities, now all that energy is bouncing right back to them because we're too high vibrational. So it bounced right back off of us like a penny being thrown at a bouncy ball, and it's being bounced right back to them, and they can't handle it because they're not built for this. They're not strong enough for this. They're not ranked enough for this. And why are they not ranked? Because they were too busy taking shortcuts in life, skipping steps, while we took our time and we crawled up every little step. And after we learned how to walk, we started walking up every step. And after we learned how to run, we started sprinting up every step. And so we caught all the lessons and we caught everything that we were supposed to go through. And it was meant to push us and to pull us back in our bow and arrow, to push us in our trajectory. And so that's where we're at right now. Also, before I go, a lot of us, like I said, have been placed into illegal investigations. And not only do we get watched by CCTV, which most of us already know, we also get watched through SIM swapping, eSIM cloning, and Pegasus spyware, also known as zero exploit style spyware. With the SIM swapping, which we already know is where they pop out the SIM and they put in a new SIM. Okay, that's a simple one to gain access to two-factor identification codes. With the eSIM cloning, that's a little bit more elevated. There's no chip to steal. The phone profile lives as software or a clone. So it basically creates a ghost phone or digital twin, and that mirrors your messages in real time. Most of the time, police need to do a warrant for this. If they don't, it would be considered breaking the Fourth Amendment clause, and it would be a violation. So basically, that would be illegal wiretapping. And then to the top level, you have the Pegasus spyware, and that's military grade spyware. It's solidarity to the government. They can pull up your eSIM data. They can create a ghost device and it turns the phone into a mic or camera. In democracy, it's supposed to be rare and reserved for terrorism and major crime cases, and it usually requires judges' signatures. However, as we know, we have corrupt officials and we also have corrupt people that have ties to corrupt officials, and so they can get judges to sign off on that, and that ensues the illegal investigation. So don't take all my words on that as facts. Always do your research and always stay current with what's going on, especially as pertains to your own individual lives. I just wanted to put that out there as a quick message. I hope you guys have a divinely orchestrated evening. Ashe to the Most High. Love and light.